guys, it is Mac here at Gopher Games, of course, with our lovely Kell, our media marketing manager. We are joined by Ninth Level Games, Chris O'Neill. Ninth Level does some amazing stuff. Not only are they multi-time NEN IGDN nominated publishers, they won last year Women Are Werewolves, the 2023 Dicebreaker Award. So
we're also here with Chris, who is a wonderful, wonderful producer and designer behind Kobold Yeet, My Baby, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. Behind the Polymorph RPG system, behind, look at that book, also behind the Return to the Dark Tower and the upcoming Nancy Druid, which I cannot wait to hear more about. So the Return to the Dark Tower, we have some surprise news about that we'll reveal at the end of the video that you should definitely pay attention to. Slap the wrist. That you should definitely keep an eye out for the end of the video for some news about Return to the Dark Tower.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Chris, man, it's so good to have you back with us. Tell us a little bit about all these projects you're working on, especially 25 years. For
25 years of Kobold Yeet, My Baby. Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy. I keep having these interactions with people, and then I say, well, I mean, we've been doing that for 25 years, and people go, no. It's like, no, I guarantee it's been 25 years. And they're like, no. That was just in the 90s, Chris. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just in the 90s. Yeah, we made Kobold Yeet, My Baby the first time. The first version of Kobold Yeet, My Baby came out in 1999. So it was 25 years ago this year. It'll be 25 years ago, technically at Gen Con.
Oh.
That was the first time Kobolds was available. We wrote it. We wrote the first version and produced it in between Origins and Gen Con that year. So it was written, drawn, laid out, printed, and delivered to between Origins and Gen Con. So in 6 weeks. A little bit different. A little bit different now. This is actually the first time we're showing it on camera.
Oh really? Oh, this is a Gopher Games exclusive.
Yeah, Gopher Games exclusive. This is it just came in. It just got to our warehouse. This is Kobold Yeet, My Baby, the orange book. So we had Kobold Yeet, My Baby, and then we had Kobold Yeet, My Baby 3rd edition, and then we had Kobold Yeet, My Baby Super Deluxe edition, and then Kobold Yeet, My Baby in color. And now this is the orange book, and the entire palette of the book is only orange. But this is a really densely arted book by our good friend John Kovalek. There's almost every page in the book. The entire system has been redone to support Polymorph, as we are now a Polymorph exclusive company. All of our games, except for Women Are Werewolves, which is played with cards and doesn't. It's it's a little completely different. Isn't a Polymorph game. So, we came up with Polymorph right before the pandemic. We've been working for many years on trying to develop, and when we say we in this case, I mean me. I've been spending a lot of years trying to come up with a system that I felt my goal was to find a system that grew out of itself, so that once you saw it complete, you would be able to project how you would create more things with it, because it would be obvious, right? That was my real goal. And I started working on, strangely enough, a board game that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek version of Dungeons and Dragons, and that led me to the dice, and the dice math led me to each person has only a single die, and that was kind of like the last straw, and that just kind of exploded, and all of a sudden Polymorph coalesced very quickly. And we started making some games, and we started doing testing some things, and we did a lot of playtesting with a lot of different themes and ideas. And the first game that we put out with it was the Excellence. So and the latest game that you don't have to wait because it is available right now. The latest game in the Awesome World series is Nancy Druid. So this is by Adriel Wilson. This is the third book in the Awesome World series where you in the Excellence you played excellent princesses, and in Horseshoe Academy you played horses going to a magical academy, and now we are Druid Scouts solving the mysteries of the forest. So you're trying to collect merit badges. You're doing different things. It continues to have the Tina Bongiorno art that we've come to love across all of these games. So it's a very similar character sheet. All the Awesome World games are completely interactive. So if at your table someone wants to be a Druid Scout and someone wants to be a magical horse and someone wants to be an excellent princess, you can do that because they're all they all run the same way, right? The big difference in Nancy Druid is, are you a sun scout or a moon scout? So the sun druids, they have an animal companion, and moon druids get to turn into their animal. That's kind of like the big twist in the game. You're solving the mysteries of the forest, collecting merit badges, and it's delightful. It's delightful.
That's awesome. No, the Awesome World series is such a real delight. I really like the pocketbook format. It's super easy to digest, and it's great to bring around. Like we had the Excellence, the local Girl Scout troop here played the Excellence, and that was a big thing for them here. That was pretty cool. Also in the list of projects that you have lined up, so many. Tell us a little bit about the Return to the Dark Tower. This is a classic franchise. Tell us about it.
Our biggest game is Mazes Fantasy Role Playing, and that is our traditional dungeons. You go down to the dungeon to fight monsters, and then we have here, and I'll show you why this is important. This is how the game comes. It actually comes. It's not plastic wrapped. It's thoughtfully wrapped in brown paper. And I know this is important for you, so I'm gonna tear this one open. This is a fresh one.
It's like the holidays or the birthday. Like
I really like the birthday vibe. I really like the idea that like you get to and most of the time we've seen stores have been taking them and they open one and then they leave the rest of them
wrapped. Yeah.
So it's like buying a Japanese car in Japan, right? Like you're the only person that has ever touched it. So this is Return to Dark Tower. This is the first role-playing game based on a board game that was itself based on a board game. Return to Dark Tower is a board game that was put out by Restoration Games, that harkens to the original Dark Tower game put out by Milton Bradley. This is not the Stephen King Dark Tower, which is a question that gets asked. So part of this is a nostalgia play, and because of that, we gave it a big thick orange spine, like an old TSR book, so you can put it next to your old your books on the shelf. But this is a full color throughout. Oh, everyone comes with a full map. But this is a full color throughout, heavily arted.
That's awesome.
Game.
I'm not sure if the mic picked it up, but I think Mac just fell in love.
Yeah.
The every monster, every character class, every enemy that exists in the board game exists here in this book. This is 100% compatible with Mazes, so anything that you've done with Mazes, you can use it. You can use any of our adventure products or any of the things that do that. And also, this can just be a expansion for your Mazes game.
That's very cool.
Return to Dark Tower is different than a lot of role-playing games because kind of the focus is on this idea that we are playing not just as a single person, but as a we are playing as the heroes that are trying to save the world. So this is a high fantasy, high stakes kind of game. The each player creates a hero, but they also create a companion. And the companion is another hero that can be played troop style. So, because at any one given time, only one hero is in play, and everyone else's companions are in play. And that's because the heroes are off screen doing other things. So, the game is played almost board gamey turn like, where the role playing takes place in what's called the quest phase. But during that phase, other heroes could be doing different things. You could be doing diplomacy or traveling to another country. You could be resting and recuperating. You could be recruiting more soldiers. Because as heroes at like writ large on the big scale, you also have a force. You have forces. You have, the brutal warlord has soldiers, and the relentless warden has a pack of wolves. Um, so the brutal warlord, the forces of the brutal warlord are an army of warriors, right? So in addition, when you're playing the brutal warlord, that's the hero. Everyone else, you also have this like group of retainers that can do things because the game lets you zoom in and out at that macro level. So I, the warrior, am fighting this troll, but I, the squad of soldiers, am fighting against, a horde of, the undead, or we're doing a, large scale actions because at the end of the game you're going to always come to like a final battle, right? And if you look here on the resolver, every word, like, so it says rolling a 2 or 3 is books, but underneath that it says tactics. So books is a perception action at the player level, or it's a tactics action at the scoped out version, right? So I have blades for I'm fighting with you 1-to-1, or battle where it's my army versus your army.
I see. And so each individual player takes turns being in the spotlight as the hero versus.
Yeah, and you get to control that, right? So like when you're doing that at the there are sitting down at the table, there's basically 3 phases. The first phase is to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do. So you're placing your characters in different pieces. So I'm going to be the hero today. So now everyone's going, or for this next scene, which means that everyone else's hero has the opportunity to go do something else. Now the next scene, I might be the hero again because that makes sense. Or Mac, you take over and your hero is going to do it, and I'm going to sub in with my companion.
That's awesome. No, I think that's a real interesting way to game because you're exploring a different space.
The goal, in a lot of ways, this has everything you need to play. Like you could just pick this up and start playing. And if you were playing the board game, I think it's a good transition. But if you're coming from mazes, or say coming from 5e or the OSR, it's giving you a completely different way to attack what the game looks like, right? And it's making an assumption that says that you're playing in a campaign, and it makes it easy for especially the newer GM or someone that hasn't really GM, because it gives you a bunch of rules to frame what's going on, because we're telling a kind of story, and that very story is we are gathered together to stop the evil that's in the tower. So it's not just, well, you could do anything, right? because there's some rails that you're riding on.
Mhm. And then, of course, shifting gears, Kell mentioned that you guys have a special project coming up with restoration, which is
The
Thunder
This is
Road.
the project with restoration. This is our first project with restoration. We do have another project with restoration. I don't know if we've announced it yet.
Oh, I thought Yeet announced it
He
on.
did announce it. That is true. We have announced it. We haven't put out the press release yet, but we are working on working on Restoration's other game, which is Thunder Road Vendetta. And the actual
Such a
game
cool game.
designers of that game are the ones that are designing the role-playing game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. And
It's pretty good. It is a game about driving cars in the apocalyptic wasteland.
mhm.
It's also a game about like keeping your group together. So there's some little resource management parts, we have fuel, we have scrap, and we need to do those things. My favorite rule so far is um whenever you roll the key, which is a 1 on your die, you can choose to succeed. But if you do, then you are in the driver's seat, and the next time something bad happens, it happens to you. Like, so whoever is currently in the driver's seat, bad things are going to happen to. Again, with all of these games, we're trying to focus on this idea that makes it extremely easy to sit down and start playing it right away, but it really captures kind of the feel, right? And so to give you that hot seat, like, oh, anything could happen at any time, right? Oh, I succeed, but so the more you die, the more ones you're going to roll, the more likely you're going to be in the driver's seat, the more danger is coming at you.
Put on your seatbelts, folks.
Yeah.
We actually ran a campaign on a different system, of course, based off of the fantastic movie Mad Max Fury Road, except Steve and I came up with the lovely name Mad Mac Gopher Road. And I feel like we're going to have to bring that back in the Thunder Road system.
Yes, Gopher Road.
I'm going to put your face all over it.
Mad Mac.
Mad Mac Gopher Road.
I'm so excited for this. Oh boy. Well, let's talk about something a little more exciting than that. I see there is a fantastic little Yeet. Is that beta?
So that's beta. That's beta right there. This is the first production. These are the Kobold plushes that are they have passed through the Straits of Panama, and they are approaching. They might be closer to you than they are to me, but they are coming soon. They are the last piece of the puzzle for the Kobold Yeet My Baby Kickstarter and the full fulfillment. And
they came out great, man.
My Little Kobold, My Little Kobold sticker.
I love that.
They're super huggable, they're super squeezable. And we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff with them throughout the year. As we're gonna be running a game. We're gonna run Kobold's games where you have these as like giant miniatures.
I 100%. I have to have one of those.
I love that so much.
Yeah, almost everybody sees them and is like, "How do I get that?" And it's like, well, you just have to wait. You just have to wait. So they're all done. Like I said, they're in a. I'm expecting a giant box of them to just appear at my house.
How do you explain that to the neighbors? It's like, yeah,
yeah, they don't. They've already like pallets of books appear in my front yard, and they've all seen me like pulling a like a pallet jack like through the grass, like it's already. The number of truck drivers that have stopped in front of my house have been like, nope.
Right? They're like, no.
We're just gonna put this in the street, bro. That's up to you, man.
Of course, they would say, yeah, you got to take this John, because I found out that John
You gotta take that John.
Yeah.
Take that John, and you gotta take it up. I
still think they're lying to me. I don't fully believe the words that they're telling me is English, but
we do lie to him a lot.
In
know Chris is very well learned.
there is a adventure for Kobold Yeet My Baby. That's part of the Kickstarter. It's called It's Always Orange in Philadelphia. And there's a chart in it called the D66, What's This Jaw in My Hand chart.
Oh my God.
So 100% it is a real thing. It is a real word that we actually say here. And for those of you in Louisiana and in other parts of the country, a John is it's almost like a pronoun. It's like a word that you can substitute for any other word. And when you say it, you just kind of know what it is. So, hey, can you hand me that, John, is probably the most recognizable way that you would say it. Or I took that, John, or what is that, John? Because you don't know what it is. So you would use the indefinite John. But you could also say, that's my John. That's this is my John, like that's perfectly acceptable.
Literally the first time that Chris started saying that to me, I thought he was talking about a guy named John, and I kept looking around. I didn't understand.
Where is John at? Where is that John?
So if it's about something and the other party doesn't know exactly what you mean, is it a John Doe?
No. That's a bridge too far.
Shut down, girl.
I
Shut
tried.
down. So, of course, this would not be a 9th level interview if we did not speak to the internet darling, the one that nearly broke the internet, Yeet.
Beyonce style nearly broke the internet. This is my good friend Yeet. Hey, nerds. Hey, Mac.
Hello.
Hi, Yeet.
Hello. New person.
Yeet, you have some. Oh, look at that. Yeet.
He's sniffing.
That is
Gotta get up in
is
there.
an internet darling if I ever saw one.
I do a TV show during Zine Quest, which is going on right now every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Find it on YouTube at YouTube 9th Level Games.
So Yeet,
where I talk about zines, and I am currently I have talked so much crap about zines that everyone I know is like, you talk about making zines all the time and how easy and people should do it. So put your money where your mouth is. Unfortunately, as a kobold, I don't really have any money. But, mouth. Mouth I have. So the final week of Zine Quest this year, Yeet will be making a zine called Yeet Makes a Zine.
So Yeet, how did you come about this idea to make Yeet Makes a Zine?
So between you and me, it's actually a marketing stunt.
Okay,
the idea
I'll keep that
is
secret. Nobody else will know. Just
we're trying to show people how easy it is to use polymorph to make cool games. So I'm going to make a game based on a set of structures. We have a big list, and then we chop things off the list. So whatever you call those things, requirements. And then so I'm gonna have all these strictures, and then I'm gonna make a game.
Okay. That is.
Would you guys like to? Would you like to help us with that?
I mean, sure. Whatever we could do.
Right, you're gonna need a set of polyhedral dice.
We can do that.
I am gonna need to share a picture, so I'll be right back.
So you've shared a screen with us.
I hope that you can see it because I can't see it because I shared it. Okay, good. What you need to do is you need to take a whole mess of polyhedral dice, a full set. That is a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, the other D10, a D12, and a D20.
D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20.
No, the other D10.
Whoa.
The 10's 10.
You get the pen?
I got the 10.
All right. No, you should have 2 10s.
Oh, and I got the other 10.
You got a
Percentage. Boom.
10, and then you have a hundreds. That one.
Yes.
All right, then roll all them dice.
I have rolled many numbers.
Awesome. Your D20, that's the first thing we're going to figure out, which is not at
8.
all inspired by the life or works of a person with cool initials. What's that number?
12.
12. This game will not be about Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay. Not.
Might still be
Absolutely
about
not.
Mary J. Blige, though, so I'm excited.
I do
Love
like
that.
I do like me some Mary J. Blige. Okay.
The D12.
The D12 was an 8.
8. So it's not going to be audio only, which it already wasn't going to be, so that's good to go. The D10s, the hundredths one.
60.
60. So this is for Nerd Chrome. We will not be having any realism. Woo.
Oh, I see.
Thank
I see.
God. I thought it was going to be neo-realistic.
Okay.
Got
Okay.
it.
Cool.
The regular D10 for our core activity loop in the game.
That would be a 4, as in go for.
4 was delving. It has already been scratched off, so we're good. There still won't be any delving. D8.
The D8 rolled a 2.
2. Woo, good. This game will not be post-apocalyptic.
Okay. Cool.
So all we have left on the genre twist is it's either going to be steamy or romance or a combo meal. Finally, the D6.
We rolled a 6.
The 6 is the historical, which we are not going to do. So we only have left scary horror or super. So this is either going to be a steamy romance or a combo meal about scary horror or superheroes in the style, because the 1D4 was determined yesterday on the show, of high camp madness.
Okay.
Help there. Gopher Games. I'm going to stop sharing. Well, there we go.
Hi.
Back on.
Well, that was awesome. That sounds like a
that
very
was awesome.
exciting,
Thanks.
reflective game.
All right. I'm going to get back to work.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Yeet. Well, Chris, dude, thank you so much for showing us through Yeet Makes a Zine with your partner Yeet there. And finally, we have a couple of questions. There's some other really cool games. You have one in Kickstarter, which I'm really jazzed about. It's a delightful tale about Regency, possibly some romance.
It is called Sentai and Sensibility.
Yes.
It is being described as Pride and Prejudice and Power Rangers, or Jane Austen's Power Rangers. It is written by Bug Bowl, a longtime member of Ninth Level. They are an amazing, they're an amazingly fun person who is obsessed with Sentai and learned a lot about the Regency to jam this together. So, like, the idea is that all of the player are gentlefolk in the Regency period of jolly old England, doing all the things that you would do, going to balls and hosting tea parties and doing a promenade or playing croquet, when giant kaiju attack and they have to slip and change. They have to henshin into their Sentai personas to save the day, including transforming into their giant combination robots. We have Hit a Nerve. It's doing very well on Zine Quest right now. People are just really excited about Sentai. It just seems there's not enough. There's a lot of people that are really into Sentai that there's just not a lot of things that aren't Power Rangers related.
Right.
And it's very apparent, if you're into Sentai, how much Bug loves Sentai. Because people keep saying, like, oh, I love the X about that Y. And I look at it and go, I have no idea what they're talking about. I have literally no idea what they're talking about because they're so far down the Sentai fandom that it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like red Ranger, pink Ranger.
And then, of course, we'll make sure that we have it somewheres in here or wherever to get to. There's a Kickstarter going on currently, right?
There's a Kickstarter going on right now. All you have to do is go to Kickstarter, and it's part of Zine Quest.
Okay, cool.
All of the links to that will be in our description below.
Absolutely. And then, of course, one last one. It's really near and dear to my heart as a fan of professional wrestling for many, many decades. I hear there's a whisper in the wind. There is something coming this way.
We've been talking a long time about this game that we're calling Wrestlemania, Symphony of the Fight. And it looks like if fingers crossed that we'll be getting it onto Kickstarter later this year, hopefully in the summertime, maybe later. The concept of the game is very straightforward. It's been written. We have a great team working on it that are super fans of wrestling, and they are super fans of old school video games. And so Wrestlemania is going to be the first legacy Metroidvania role-playing game experience.
That's gonna be so good.
It's an over-the-top idea where you play wrestlers who have been recruited to go and fight Ultra Dracula, because Ultra Dracula has taken over the country of Greco-Romania and used his magic powers to make himself immune to weapons. So the only way to take him down is by pinning him to the mat for 3 seconds. So for a count of 3. So the game is it's going to be even crazier than that description. That's what I'm promising everybody. So
we're going to lose Mac for a while when that comes out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Like one of the minions, his name is Lucha Cabra. He's the Chupacabra with a luchador mask. It's great. There are red Draculas and blue Draculas, and you can slim them together, and it's super fun.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
And it's designed. It's a campaign. So when you get it, you don't have to create. You're going to get to create all your wrestlers, but you're not. The GM is getting a complete set, a complete game, a legacy game to run for the players. Like a Metroidvania, you have to go and explore to find things and then try things out, and you have to get so far and then you have to go back to the beginning and those kind of things. So if you know anything about Castlevania, it's supposed to feel like that experience. So
I can't tell you how many hours I spent. Oh, I don't have the equipment that gets me through this level. Damn it, I gotta go back.
Right. Yeah, you could be like, oh, well, do you have the whip? And you'd be like, what do you mean, what whip? Where was the whip? What are you
talking about? Yeah.
I cannot wait just for the idea of, and then he comes out with a steel chair.
Yes, there's the folding chair is figures prominently.
Very cool. Well, Chris, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be a part of this and letting us know about all the cool stuff that Ninth Level is doing.
Anytime.
Thanks again to Yeet for popping in and showing us how Yeet makes a zine. Once again, we will have some really fantastic signed copies of Return of the Dark Tower by Chris and Yeet signing those books for us. So they will be here in store soon. And finally, Chris,
I'm gonna sign them right now.
Want to find you guys. If they want to find you guys, where are you guys going to be? Are you going to be at any shows this year or anything like that?
Oh, we're going to be at all the shows, Mac. I'm going to be at all the shows. We've already been at to Scarab and Magfest this year, and we're only in February. This weekend we're going to be at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie.
Okay, yeah.
Paul Butler's store. It's their grand opening. we'll be there running some mazes and doing some crazy Kobold stuff. We are going to be at Gamma. We're going to be at GaryCon. We're going to be at PAX East. We're going to be at Gen Con, Origins, PAX Unplugged, Gamehole Con. I think we're going to be at Grand Con in Rapids. We're guests at Kubla Con in San Francisco and at Breakout Con in Toronto. So
is there a spot on your website
New
where we
Hampshire.
can find all of this?
Yes. We have all that information, and you can sign up for our newsletter, which goes out once a month and has all this information and more. It tells you about all of our Kickstarters. It tells you about promotions that we're running, and it tells you where we're going to be. We're going to be at GraniteCon in New Hampshire as well.
Very cool.
Awesome. Links to all of that will be below in the description.
Once again, Chris, we want to say thank you. We know you're busy, so it's really awesome that you've been able to spend a little time with us and tell us about this John.
Yeah, I got to talk about this, John.
Yeah, so, get it right.
I love talking about this, John. This is my John.
This is your John. I got this. I should be a Philadelphian already. I don't know. I don't know if I have the right sandwich eating position, because I hear that that's a thing too. Like, you got to be able to eat the sandwich.
You do have you do have a muffaletta, which is an acceptable sandwich, even it
is the manhole of sandwiches, because it's about the same size. Yeah.
To my Philadelphia,
Chris, once again, brother, thank you.
Born
Thank you so much.
Sandwichism.
Well, guys, this was Chris O'Neill and 9th Level Games. Look for all their awesome stuff. We will have it here in store. We will have it on our website. You also information to their website. I'm going to get me one of those kobolds. It's going to be great.
Me too.
We're all getting kobolds over here. We're all getting kobolds. Chris,
you get a kobold and you get a kobold.
Thank you, brother. We really appreciate you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Signing off. This has been Gopher Games.